For what purpose? Gentlewoman from South Carolina, seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A1 of Rule 9, I rise to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. The form of the resolution is as follows: censuring Representative Cory Mills of Florida and removing him from the Committee on Armed Services and the Committee on Foreign Affairs. Whereas prior to serving in the House of Representatives, Representative Cory Mills founded Paysum Solutions International, LLC, and Paysum Defense, LLC, and acquired Amtech Corporation, now renamed as ALS, Inc., companies which engage in security and military contracting with the United States government as well as foreign nations. Whereas in August 2024, the Office of Congressional Conduct found from January 2023 to present, Paysum Defense, ALS, has been actively contracting with the federal government, securing close to $1 million in federal contracts for munitions and weapons distributed to prisons across the country. Specifically, since January 9, 2024, 94 contracts have been awarded to entities owned by Representative Mills, and went on to conclude, quote, there is substantial reason to believe that Representative Mills may have entered into, held, or enjoyed contracts with federal agencies while he was a member of Congress, in violation of House rules, standards of conduct, and federal law. Whereas in August 2024, the Office of Congressional Conduct noted, according to its website, Paysum Solutions is currently registered and or partnered with trusted local firms to work in the following countries: United States, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, UAE, Australia, Kenya, Malaysia, and Kuwait. Public reports indicate companies owned by Representative Mills sought or entered into contracts to sell munitions to foreign nations while serving as a member of the Committee on Foreign Affairs and on the Committee on Armed Services. Whereas entities owned by Representative Mills seeking or entering into contracts to sell munitions to the United States government as well as foreign nations, he did so while he serves as a member of the Committee on Foreign Affairs and Committee on Armed Services, represents a clear and troubling conflict of interest. Whereas in August 2024, and the Office of Congressional Conduct further adopted and transmitted to the Committee on Ethics of the House of Representatives a report indicating that there are substantial reason to believe that Representative Cory Mills may have omitted or misrepresented required information in his financial disclosure statements, accepted excessive contributions to his campaign committee in the form of personal loans, and contributions that may not have derived from Representative Cory Mills' personal funds, and may have accepted through his campaign committee in-kind contributions or other contributions not lawfully made. Whereas individuals who served in the military with Representative Cory Mills have called into question the veracity of the account of events, which formed the basis of a recommendation that Representative Cory Mills received the award of a Bronze Star, bestowed in 2021 or afterwards for his service under enemy fire in Iraq in 2003. Whereas in August 2024, Representative Cory Mills provided the Daytona Beach News with documents purporting to prove that he earned a Bronze Star with heroism, including a Department of the Army Form 638 recommending Representative Cory Mills for a Bronze Star, which includes a signature from then Army Brigade Commander Arnold N. Gordon Bray. Whereas retired Brigadier General Arnold N. Gordon Bray has stated he did not personally write, read, or sign the Department of the Army Form 638 recommending Representative Cory Mills for a Bronze Star. Whereas 5 people who served with Representative Cory Mills, including 2 men who were reported as having been personally saved by Representative Cory Mills at great risk to his own life as a basis for the recommendation for his Bronze Star, and the Department of the Army Form 638 disputed what Representative Cory Mills was involved in their rescue or provided life-saving care. Whereas one private first class cited as having been involved in one of the listed achievements on Representative Cory Mills' Army Form 638, recommending him for a Bronze Star, denied that Representative Cory Mills provided him any aid and also denied that his injuries were life-threatening. Whereas one sergeant cited as having been involved in one of the listed achievements on Representative Cory Mills' Army Form 638, recommending him for a Bronze Star, called the account a fabrication and claimed that he was, quote, not involved in any claims that Cory Mills makes about me. Whereas Representative Cory Mills' employment application to DynCorp International stated he served in the United States Army 75th Ranger Regiment and attended United States Army Sniper School, claims which are not corroborated in his military records. Whereas on February 19, 2025, Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department officers were called to resolve a private matter at Representative Cory Mills' residence, where officers were called to the 1300 block of Maryland Avenue Southwest around 1:15 p.m. for the report of an assault. Whereas police reports obtained by NBC4 Washington confirmed that the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department was investigating Representative Cory Mills for an alleged assault of a 27-year-old woman that took place on February 19, 2025, at the residence of Representative Cory Mills. Whereas the first police report provided to NBC4 Washington by a source and confirmed by a second source familiar with the investigation said that the 27-year-old woman accused her significant other for over a year of having grabbed her, shoved her, and pushed her out the door. And also said that the woman involved showed the officer bruises on her arm, which appeared fresh. Whereas NBC4 Washington also reported that the Metropolitan Police Department identified Representative Cory Mills as the significant other of the alleged victim of assault, which alleged victim was a 27-year-old woman who was not the wife of Representative Cory Mills, and that the alleged victim let officers hear Subject 1, now identified as by MPD as Mills, instruct her to lie about the origin of her bruises. Eventually, Subject 1 made contact with the police and admitted that the situation escalated from verbal to physical, but it was severe enough to create bruising. Whereas on February 21, 2025, the Washington Post also confirmed 2 D.C. police officials said that the alleged victim of assault initially told a 911 operator and police that she'd been assaulted, and that officers said she also had what seemed to be visible injuries. And that while a supervisor initially classified the offense internally as a family disturbance, police commanders later learned of the incident, reviewed the reports and body camera footage from the responding officers, and reclassified the case as a domestic violence assault. Whereas on February 21, 2025, NBC4 Washington also reported that the Metropolitan Police Department determined that probable cause to arrest Representative Cory Mills for misdemeanor assault existed and sent an arrest warrant for Representative Cory Mills to the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia. Whereas for July 14, 2025, a different former romantic partner of Representative Cory Mills, who was apparently in a relationship with Representative Mills from November 21st to February 2025, reported to authorities in Florida that Representative Mills threatened to release nude images and other intimate videos of her, and threatened to harm her future romantic partners in retaliation for her decision to end a relationship with Representative Mills after seeing the public reports described above concerning the alleged February 2025 physical assault. Whereas on October 14, 2025, the Circuit Court of the 3rd Judicial Circuit in Columbia County, Florida, issued a final judgment of injunction for protection against dating violence against Representative Cory Mills, based on a finding that his former romantic partner was a victim of dating violence or had reasonable cause to believe she was in imminent danger of becoming a victim of an act of dating violence. And whereas such conduct by Representative Cory Mills affects the dignity and the integrity of the proceedings of the House and brings discredit upon the House, now therefore be it resolved that Representative Cory Mills be censured. Representative Cory Mills forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure. Representative Cory Mills be censured with a public reading of this resolution by the Speaker, and Representative Cory Mills be and is hereby removed from the Committee on Armed Services and the Committee on Foreign Affairs of the House.
Under Rule 9, a resolution offered from the floor by a member other than the majority leader or the minority leader as a question of privilege of the House has immediate proceeding only at a time designated by the chair within 2 legislative days after the resolution is properly noticed. Pending that designation, the form of the resolution noticed by the gentlewoman from South Carolina will appear in the record at this point. The chair will not at this point determine whether the resolution constitutes a question of privilege. That determination will be made at the time designated for consideration of the resolution.